Freedom Jacob Caesar is a developer, industrialist, philanthropist, and a visionary who has changed the skyline of Ghana with his landmark development, ushering a grand template for Africa. Freedom's project addresses the challenges of what he sees as the new Africa, one that desires the resources and the conveniences of the developed world while maintaining a uniquely African identity. He just got back from a visit to Turkey following the devastating earthquakes and gives first-hand experience on what's on ground while calling on humanity to support the people. He joins us now. We want to say many thanks to you, Freedom, for joining us today. And let's start it off from your visits to Turkey and all you saw there firsthand. Relate to us, how devastating was the earthquake in that particular region?
Well, start off with, it looks more than an earthquake. It also kind of looks like there's a nuclear that has gone off because it's affecting 10 cities and you can see almost every city and the buildings are falling. I haven't seen anything like this myself, with all the news about earthquakes in the world. This one was extraordinary. It's very tragic, and I hope that the Turkish people are able to overcome this. But they have 10 cities to redevelop, which is about 4 or 5 million people that have to be rehoused.
All right. We know that most of Africa are not on fault lines, so certainly a lot of people are not building with the mindset that probably a tremor or an earthquake could actually happen. But talk to us, do you think we should still build with the mindset that the unthinkable can happen and maybe several countries in Africa can be susceptible to several of these tremors and earthquakes that we've seen?
These are just national disasters. It can happen anywhere. But the case of Turkey is that the contour of that area was more of an earthquake zone already, which has been aligned, and meaning that they should have put some desperate measures in place in terms of building and developing the area. From what I saw, there wasn't enough stills in the building. I'm not here to blame them, but of course they need the help, and we've lost a lot of lives there. I thought that it would be good to assist and put Africa on the map, because I also believe that Africans have what it takes to support the world and contribute to the world whenever there's such national disasters that occurs. Since we want to be part of the global economy, we have to contribute to the world in situations like this. And that's the reason why I did that. When talking about Africa, what really needs to be done, it's social development and human development. And we need to be able to tailor our development to suit the people there from different categories in terms of class, working class and living class. And we barely have middle income in the African countries, which makes it very hard for us to have a national development. And that's one of the things that needs to be inserted. I think we have to look at that first. And then when it gets to the earthquake zones and all of these things, we can think about it as then when we're into the development.
All right, as a man who built castles in the skies, metaphorically, talk to us. Do you think Africa and, let's maybe zone it down to sub-Saharan Africa and the skylines, do you think they are developing fast enough to catch up with the rest of the world? Or do you think we still have a lot of work to do to be able to probably build vertically more than horizontally?
No, I don't think Africa is developing fast enough. I don't think they're building fast enough. There are terms and claims that Africa has a very fast-growing economy, but when it comes to development, we're definitely running behind schedule. And that is some kind of breach, some kind of gap that needs to be bridged. What is development for third world countries, and what would make a third world country come from a third world country to a first-class country? You definitely need to set up your industrial platforms, because there's no point you waiting for 10 weeks, 12 weeks for somebody else to manufacture the goods that is going to actually execute the development in that vicinity through logistics from other countries until you're able to provide it yourself. Now, I'll give you an example with Dubai. When they were developing Dubai in the past 5 decades, they had a Sharjah industrial platform, which was just like 15, 20 minutes away from Dubai. So logistically, it helps them to put speed in development. So in 50 years, they have been able to develop spaces for over 22 million people, and their population is less than 3 or 4 million, which means the rest of the people coming into the country is tourism, and it's part of development and it's part of our economy. And so that's what I think Africans need to do. We need to set up the industrial platform to speed up the development. And of course, we need to also partner with the world to bring other people. You know, it doesn't matter. We can use the Chinese, we can use Europeans, we can use Americans as part of our development. But we definitely need that speed, and we're definitely running behind schedule. Matter of fact, I think Africa is the last continent amongst the 6 or 7 continents on this planet to be developed. So it's a must. It's obvious. It's going to happen. It's either we do it or someday somebody is going to have to come. Some people are going to have to do it. And are they going to be aliens coming to Africa to do that? You and I don't know. I think we have to do that. So
all right,
it's a no.
Briefly before we go, you're a man that is well traveled, that is vast in terms of structural engineering and putting up buildings. Talk to us, when it comes to high rises in Africa, we'd have to bring, most of the time we bring in expatriates to actually help us with high rises. What are you doing and what do you think should be done to be able to ensure that we can help build our own skylines?
Well, it sounds easier said than done. To build a skyscraper, it's a lot of engineering work, it's a lot of construction, and a lot of monitored development skills that has to come together. And I don't see any problem working with the outsiders to do that. Why? Because they've done it already. And Africans haven't done skyscrapers. Of course, historically, we have built pyramids and all of that, but those were pyramids. Those were not skyscrapers. Now that we want to emulate what is happening in the Western world, it is only right that we partner with them to be able to do that. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, just take a place like Dubai or Qatar. They had Sri Lankans, they had all these Pakistanis and all of these people helping them to do their development. Some of them were playing the labor role. They had Europeans doing the architectural. You know, you need the world to build the world. You know, it's one world, and everybody has some kind of skills to contribute to either a social development, a national development, industrial platforms, technological platforms, all the platforms that is bringing us that global sustainability for us to have a universal world. It takes the efforts of different people from different parts of the world to do that. And I think the skill set can also be adopted by Africans once it's being done that way. And that's the way I believe we should go about it. I can tell you for sure that if we fully depend on maybe Africans who haven't actually had the experience of building skyscrapers, it's likely the building can fall. You know, so you have to take these measures first, and I don't really see anything wrong with that.
All right, I want to say many thanks to you, Freedom Jacob Caesar, and say kudos to the good work you've been doing, the philanthropic work you've been doing, especially what you're doing right now in Turkey.